Well, thanks for coming today and on this beautiful day we're having um, outside. I thought that I would take just a chance after this weekend with being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and then with us starting our postseason workouts, and how the transfer portal along with a lot of teams, has affected our roster and just us moving forward. So I thought I'd give everybody a chance to possibly ask a few questions on that. I've got some things to say, and then I'll open it up. But I was supposed to come back Sunday from the men's Final Four because everything was down in New Orleans at the men's Final Four, and then like a lot of people, my flight was canceled. So I know we were supposed to do some media at the Final Four, but obviously that didn't happen I think pilot shortage and weather. I heard a lot of different reasons, but anyway, we were stuck in New Orleans, Ben and I, until Monday night. Um, so Hall of Fame wise, um, sitting here standing next to another Hall of Famer. Congrats, Charles. Um, but so they tell you once I was a finalist when they're going to call, and they called on Monday, and I was in the last day of my quarantine with COVID, so had that going on. It was my last day though, so I was able to get that call, get some really good news as I was healing and starting to feel better. Got that call. Like I said, they tell you they're going to call you, and then obviously I was by my phone, just kind of hanging out with my dogs that day. So got that, called my mom, called Ben, and then I called my dad. Um, you know, he was playing pickleball, so I got to him a little bit later. Called my staff, a few coaches, and obviously I'm eternally grateful to my parents first and foremost, to Ben, to all my coaches who saw a lot in me, to everybody, to my staff here, for everything. And obviously it's a great honor. Was a really fun weekend, and something that I was not expecting at any point in my career, but to be able to go in with those great people, it's obviously a tremendous honor. And obviously during that time, we had a few more players let me know that they're going to go into the transfer portal from our team. So it's something else we can discuss, and you guys can ask questions. And obviously it's when we go into recruiting, we go into talking with different players and their families. You wanna build long relationships, and we've created an environment here. We're competitive. We work hard. We're nurturing, and at times it doesn't work out. And so obviously our program, like many others around the Big Ten, top 25 teams, schools throughout the country, are kind of navigating this new I guess world we are in college athletics with. A lot has changed since for sure since I took over in 2018, but even in last year, with kind of coming out of COVID and everybody having another year, and the rule changing last April to be able to have the one-time transfer rule where you can go play that next year, and a lot in college sports. NIL, there's a lot changing, a lot going on, and our staff is fully committed to continuing to recruit players who embody the values of this university, of our team, being great teammates, being willing to outwork opponents, being leaders in our community, and doing everything with discipline on a day-to-day basis, both in the classroom and on the court. So that's what we'll continue to do. I love this state university program as much as anybody, and I'm going to continue to work, and our staff is going to continue to work to find players, through the transfer portal to come in to our team for next year, and continue to coach and work with the 7 that we have going into next season. So, I had a chance. So funny how things work. I was in New Orleans, obviously, and so was Mark. So Mark was down there, and we had a few times to. I've been in constant contact with him, and so we met, have his full support. Our program has his full support, and like I said, we were away from the Final Four here, and just timing and things like that. It worked out for him and I to meet as well and kind of talk about how we're going to continue to move forward. And yeah, so if anybody has any questions, I'll open it up.
Do you have you been surprised by the number of kids? I know a lot weren't playing. That seems reasonable.
I think there's a lot of different reasons. I think some is and through all over, the country. I think a lot of teams had big rosters this year. We were one of them. We were one of them having 16. For because that a lot of different reasons, right? But yeah, I think the total number of people in the port, I think I don't know what it's at right now, and close to 1,000 total. I think you're, I think you just kind of we're obviously keeping track because we're talking to people moving forward to come here. So we're on it every day, and so I think it's that's why I say I think it's a little bit of everybody's kind of navigating and trying to figure it out because it just was last year. And last year, I mean, let's be honest, I mean, we were in COVID, and we weren't able to recruit until June, like on campus, so I think a little bit of that is kind of freed some things up where some student athletes are able to go and move a little bit more. And it's honestly and that's where us as coaches and as a staff, I mean, you don't want to have, like I said, you don't go into any relationship thinking that, okay, well, hope for a year or two. No, like we want to be a part of their lives, and we want to make this a great, place for them and university. But at the same time, that's where I think we're all navigating kind of this new world and things, because ultimately, if somebody's, wants to try something else for a lot of different reasons, whether it's playing time, whether it's, just, want a change, then I think it's for that way, the transfer portal, it's I think we have to continue to move that. It's a positive thing for our student athletes, is that if they want to try something new, if they feel that another place is going to be better for them, then obviously we support them. And at the same time, that's why I say we're not like happy with the amount of with for the players that have left, but at the same time we're navigating it like so many other schools are right now. And so it's it was never far from my mind, even in New Orleans. It was a great weekend, but I mean, it was also thinking of planning ahead and figuring out who's going to match with our program standards and with the university and athletic department to bring in transfers of our own for next year.
This is, like you said, this is a whole new kind of landscape, and
Yeah,
a lot of this was talked about by the coaches even at the Final Four.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But when seven do leave, including Sarah, obviously, there are a lot of different reasons. But I mean, are you worried about the perception that there might be a problem?
No, it's like I said, Ken. It's not just a Minnesota thing. It's not, and so we're going to evaluate and self-evaluate and look. First and foremost, me on like how I can be better, no question. But as far as that goes, I mean, like I said, there's a lot of different reasons. There's not just one reason, and so we'll continue to work and see how we can be better and continue to move forward.
You talked with the four incoming. I would assume they're going to start your summer school.
Yeah, in June. Yep.
That group is still pretty solid there.
Yeah, ready to go. Ready to go. We've we've started postseason workouts now with the returners, and then we'll start in June with that group. And then, like I said, more other transfers that we'll have on our roster for next year. So yeah, that's where we're at. We have I told the group we have 3.5 weeks that this will that next season. Essentially, we all got back from Final Four and things like that. So we started yesterday. I said next season starts like today, and this 3.5 weeks with these student athletes we have here will be its own little bit of segment of this journey moving forward. And so I think it's really powerful that they have the chance to set that tone, and then set the tone for in June when our whole roster will be here.
Go ahead, Jonathan.
Do you look at what Ben Johnson was able to do, and he obviously brought in some very good players, and I know they didn't do great in the Big Ten, but it was a very competitive team. Do you look at that and think, okay, I can do something here?
Yeah, and we did that last year with transfers on our own team. So yeah, you look at teams that are that's how certain teams, depending on the year, that's how their team is built, And so and like I said, we did that to an extent last year. Like I said, it wasn't the number that Ben had per se, but we had a couple that were really, really effective.
In this kind of new kind of reality, do you think that going forward is every year is going to be, well, we're going to recruit the high schools, and then we're going to have to recruit the portal, and it's going to be a mix every year going forward?
I think somewhat to a certain extent. I mean, this is our fourth year. This is, I think we've had a couple. I think we've had one, maybe two each year until this year, and then, like I said, for a lot of different reasons, and a rule change being one, that we've had the amount of transfers we've had. But my eyes were closed, so dang. So sorry. So I think I don't know, honestly. I mean, like I said, though, you want to go into every relationship you have with, like, and that's where it's like, okay, what can we do to continue to, like, make sure that that we don't have this amount. But I don't know. I can't really tell you, but I just know that I believe in what we're doing. That has not changed, and I'm going to do everything in my power to. I was so inspired on Sunday night watching Dawn, and obviously playing against a great team. Obviously, I know Gino had some really nice comments of me the other day, as did Dawn. To be there, that's what I want. That's why I took this job. Now, is rarely in life is anything going to go like just exactly how you planned it. But that has not changed. That goal has not changed. I'm as determined as ever. Like I said, watching her and watching what she's done. I mean, 12 years prior to me being on the Olympic team, Dawn Staley was the point guard. And her journey is obviously taken to her where she is, and that's obviously would be, unbelievable. But like I said, that has not changed, and I'll do everything in my power to make sure that we're back to where I know this program can be. I've been there as a player, a lot different as a coach, a lot different in these times. That was a while ago when I was a player, but that has not changed, and that's where I said we need to continue to evolve, continue to improve in order for those things to happen.
How many transfers from the portal do you think? I mean, you're looking at 4, maybe 5?
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see specifics. I mean, obviously that would be in the ballpark of where we're going. I want like I said, everything that our program stands for, like fit and like that first and foremost. So that's how we're gonna go at this. And but yeah, I think that would probably be a good number.
Do you? I know there's like a dead period right now. What's the can kids commit now, or do you have to wait till a certain time? Like, what's the timeline on that?
Yeah, no, they can. Yeah, people are also now committing. So you have, it's kind of that thing where there's been a few that have committed recently to other schools. So yeah, it's as far as that goes. I know it's you can't have there's a few days here and there where you can't have necessarily like contact with like on campus, but other than that, no, you can be on the phone and all that. So.
Are you looking to those workouts in June then to maybe have that complete? Is that realistic?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Yeah, obviously that's that's pretty much all we've done since our season ended, and as we started to talk with players on our team that they've said that they've expressed that this is what they're going to do. We've just, other than we're in postseason workouts now and, working on, drills and that type of stuff, that's really all any of us have done outside of the Hall of Fame. So, yeah, that was a joke, but yeah, no, I'm serious. That's all any of us. That's what everybody's doing. That's all. Every coach that I've talked to. I mean, I know I wasn't here. Like you said, I wasn't here at the Final Four, which, from what I could tell from New Orleans and what I've heard, was just a tremendous event. A lot of people in this athletic department, a lot of people in this room, had a lot to do with how well that it was ran and how well it went. So tremendous job. But I think I've gotten phone calls and texts, obviously, from a lot of coaches that are, in that same boat. And that's all anybody's kind of doing now. It's kind of turned into that a little bit more, especially now with the fact that other than outside of dead periods, you can recruit on campus. Whereas this time last year you couldn't because we were still in the COVID shutdown. So I've heard from multiple coaches. I'm not going to say any names, but coaches who have had a tremendous amount of success. That's kind of all anybody's doing right now in our field and our business, and our staff is no different. And it's like I said, it's what it is. My first year was like I don't think we I'd have to really think back, but we just everybody stayed, and then freshmen came in, and it's like I said, it's just really changed. So everybody's navigating it.
Talk about really trying to find the right fit.
Yeah.
I mean, and obviously, you look at the talent and you look at the fit. But I mean, when you compare to kind of what your experience has taught you in the 4 years you've been here, has that, I guess, formula changed a little bit in terms of like maybe more working harder to make sure that the people you're bringing in fit here?
Yeah, I mean, I think as you go through, I think you figure out, okay, what do you value even more that I've been on the sidelines, been coaching, been in the locker room, been on road trips, and like what do you in a person, in a student athlete, what do you look for even more? So there's no question that's always been the case, but I think now and too with understanding the way that the rules are, I think you take just even more looks at more of the student athlete, and I think that they're doing more the same with us. And so yeah, I think every year you go, I think you learn a little bit more about like yourself, your style, and what you really value. And so going into year 5, that's definitely at a premium for us.
When this kind of bubble of the extra year works its way through, do you think that this will calm down, or do you think this is this is a new reality? I
mean, yeah, I don't know. Well, here's the thing too is and I do think that this year is going to, now next year I don't know, we'll have to. I do think that with having the rules like fully in place, that people can one-time transfer and not sit out, and then the COVID year, I think that and like I said, the kind of the also being able to go to campuses and check out campuses and things like that. But I don't know. We'll see. I think, we'll have to, time will tell on that. I do think right now we're kind of in this where it's pretty accelerated for a lot of student athletes, for a lot of schools, and so time will tell on that, I suppose. But we'll, hopefully not, because hopefully hopefully everything works out and everybody's wanting to continue to move forward with where they're at. But I just can't tell you right now.
Based on the line of questions so far, have you even got to enjoy being a Hall of Famer? Because it doesn't sound like that's even been.
I was wondering if anybody was going to ask about that, as that was part of my opening statement. Honestly, yeah. I mean, yeah. But I don't know. This is never far from my mind in anything. And so, and I've had a lot of people in this room that have said, just take this weekend going down there and just try to enjoy it as much as possible. And yeah. the people I'm going in with, I said, so I tried to perfect Tim Hardaway's crossover in my back, in my driveway. And I went as a sophomore after we played in the NCAA tournament for the first time in my career here. My aunt had tickets to the Final Four. And the team that year was Swin Cash's senior year with Sue and Asia Jones, Tamika Williams, and Diana was a sophomore. Me and Diana are the same year. And that was the greatest team I had ever seen before. Like in person, I was in the, I think it was the Alamo Dome. And that was the first time I could actually really like be there and witness how many people and how great these women's basketball players are. And I was in college. And I said at one of our dinners that I was able to see Swin, who I'm going in with, perform at that level. So that gave me a vision on like, it can happen. I can do that. If I work hard, if we continue to like build and everybody's like, working hard and we're playing pickup and we're getting better, then you never know. And then 2 years later, here I am in New Orleans in the Final Four. And so I think that for me, and then the other thing I said is that none of this is probably even possible wasn't for Teresa Grentz and Marianne Stanley, who were on the Immaculata team in 1972 that I think won one of the first national championships that they built that. So to be able to go in with that class, of people is just, it's unbelievable. To just kind of see then too, like that was my Final Four. And now it came full circle. That was New Orleans was, where you get like officially the press conference, you're officially in. So, but to be able to, as a young female athlete, visualize what UConn did that year. And then I got to play with Swin in the Olympics. And so we've always had that bond a little bit. I've actually gotten to play with all 5 of them. But at that time, I was a good player, I was Big Ten, not to brag, I was Big Ten Player of the Year that year, and I was just down there with my aunt. I didn't make All-American that year, so they usually fly in, but I flew down there with my aunt, and I was there as a fan. It was Tennessee was there, Oklahoma was there. I can't remember the 4th team, but I remember it was like Stacey Dales was on the Oklahoma team, and I remember being like, this is crazy. And so to be able to go in with somebody who I visualized and then was like, if I work hard enough, and our team, we work hard enough, then we can be there. And then to have it happen, and then to have it go in with Swin is super, super cool. She's got a great family, two wonderful boys. So it was just fun to see that side of everybody too. We're all there with our families, and so I guess I did get to enjoy it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. It's great. Thank you.
Do you see yourself like as a figure like that? You're coming from Hutchinson, coming through here, going to where you went in the pros, overseas, all of that, and then to know that Minnesota is even more so on the map as far as women's basketball is going?
Like at the time when I was playing, I don't know, but I hope I've inspired some young women, some young girls to grow up and either to aspire to be Gophers or to play elsewhere in college and to play in the WNBA and to keeping to grow our game. So I like to think there's been times I've had a positive impact. So yeah, but it's hard to think of yourself that way, honestly. But I do understand that I have a little bit of that place, and so yeah, and obviously, 4 who are coming here next year. And some of the other women that we saw this weekend and throughout the NCAA tournament, throughout the college basketball season, it's unbelievable how good our state is and how well they played. So I'd like to think that I've had something to do with it. And like I said, I get to coach 4 of them next year, starting in June. So it's gonna be awesome.
Voters have a lot of reasons why they want to put somebody in the Hall of Fame, whether it be wins, championships, Olympics, Final Fours. What do you think in your mind makes you a Hall of Famer?
I'd like to think that I've had success on the floor. But I think I've persevered. And I've always tried to, as much as I can. Learning from my parents, treat people in a really, really good way, and treat people how I would want to be treated. And so leaving them, it's always my goal too with our teams here is like I want people, whether it's people at a restaurant, or whether it's somebody who's driving our bus to and from games, whether it's you all here in the media, whether it's fans, that it's like, God, they can play basketball, but man, they're really respectful. They're great people. And so probably that I've had to push through different times, different things in my life. And so I think that, and just trying to always treat people the right way.
Any more?
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys coming.